So what's the best way to smoke pork ribs? Today, I'm diving into two of the most popular styles, Memphis and Texas. I'll walk you through how to smoke pork ribs using both methods, and by the end, you'll know which one fits your taste best. Whether you're just starting out or you're already a barbecue pro, I've got some easy tips that will help you take your ribs to the next level. Let's get started. First, let's break down the different types of pork ribs. Baby back ribs. These little guys are lean, tender, and have smaller bones. They sit near the top of the rib cage, right by the spine. Spare ribs. These are larger and fattier, with a richer flavor. They come from the belly side of the pig. St. Louis-style ribs, a trimmed up, rectangular version of spare ribs that's often preferred for competition barbecue. Now, let's get into the important part. What's the best way to smoke pork ribs? Well, there's no one-size-fits-all, but today we're going to talk about two of the most loved methods, Memphis and Texas. First up, Memphis. Memphis ribs are all about the dry rub. The beauty of this style is the seasoning. Memphis rubs typically have salt, pepper, paprika, garlic powder, and a little kick of cayenne. It forms a flavorful crust on the ribs that locks in all that smoky goodness. So why does this dry rub work so well for Memphis-style ribs? The rub acts like a barrier, keeping the moisture and the flavor inside the meat while it smokes. This slow process allows the spices to develop a crispy, smoky bark that really pops with flavor. Memphis-style ribs let the meat's natural taste shine through, and that's what makes them so delicious. And here's a little tip. When you order Memphis-style ribs at a barbecue joint, you'll likely notice that the dry rub is the star of the show. No sauce needed, just pure smoky goodness. Now, let's take a trip to Texas. Texas barbecue is mostly known for beef, but the pork ribs are no slouch either. Texas-style ribs are all about simplicity. A lot of pitmasters just use salt and pepper, and then maybe make a few slits in the silver skin to help the seasoning get in. The seasoning isn't meant to overpower the meat, but rather let the natural flavors of the pork and the wood do their thing. So why does this simple seasoning work so well for Texas-style ribs? It's all about the wood. In Texas, pitmasters love using strong woods like post oak, mesquite, or hickory. These woods give the ribs that signature smoky flavor that's bold and rich and really lets the pork shine. To keep things moist while they cook, a quick spritz of apple cider vinegar works great. And here's a little tip. If you're cooking Texas style, it's all about controlling the temperature. Don't be tempted to crank it up too high. Keep it right around 275 degrees to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. This ensures that the ribs stay tender and juicy. The great thing about Texas-style ribs is the rub is super simple, but the smoky bark and the option for a little sauce at the end give you a perfect balance of flavor. By the way, if you're new to barbecue and need some help with cooking times and temperatures, I've got a free guide that'll make things super easy for you. It covers everything that you need to know, from meats to veggies, and it's perfect for beginners. Just drop a 100 in the comments and I'll send it your way. Alright, let's dive into smoky method style ribs. Start by prepping the ribs. Trim off any excess fat and remove the silver skin from the back. Removing the silver skin ensures an even cook and lets the rubs penetrate the meat. It also helps the ribs stay tender. Now for the rub. Go with a simple mix of salt, pepper, paprika, garlic powder, and a little cayenne for just a little bit of heat. You want to coat both sides of the ribs generously. Don't be shy with it. When applying the rub, I like to do it in two stages. Apply a light coat, pat it in, then go back and add a more generous later. This helps ensure a uniform coat that's perfect for crispy bark. Now, let's get these ribs smoking. Keep your smoker temperature between 225 and 250, nice and low. I recommend using fruit woods like apple or cherry for a sweet smokiness that pairs perfectly with the rub. Why do people love Memphis-style ribs? It's the balance of flavors. The rub gives the ribs a flavorful crispy crust, and the low and slow smoke makes them super tender. And the best part, no sauce needed. You get pure smoky goodness in every bite. When you're checking if your Memphis-style ribs are done, gently tug on the bones. If they start pulling away easily, then they're ready. Also, if the ribs bend with a slight arc when picked up, that's a good sign they're perfectly cooked. Let me know if you've ever been to Memphis. I've been thinking about going there to check out some of the barbecue joints. What are some places I should visit? Now, let's look at how to smoke Texas-style ribs. The prep is similar to Memphis-style, but some Texans leave the silver skin on and just make a few small slits. For seasoning, it's all about simplicity, just salt and pepper. It lets the flavor of the pork and the wood shine through. For smoking, they use a slightly higher temperature, like 275 to 300. They also use different types of wood like post oak, mesquite, or hickory. And they also give a quick spritz of apple cider vinegar ever so often to keep them moist. With the higher temps, it's important to keep the fire consistent. If you're using charcoal, make sure the coals are spread out evenly to avoid hot spots. This helps the ribs cook evenly and stay juicy. Towards the end of the cook, add a light layer of barbecue sauce for a touch of sweetness and tang. But remember, don't smother the rub. Let the natural flavors of the meat and smoke take center stage. Texas-style ribs are all about letting the meat's flavor shine right through. It's simple, but the results are amazing. After smoking both styles, you'll notice a few key differences. Memphis ribs will have a darker, crispier bark, thanks to all those spices in the rub. Texas ribs, on the other hand, might have a lighter, more caramelized exterior with a slightly deeper brown from the wood. Flavor-wise, Memphis-style ribs are bold, spicy, and packed with seasoning. Texas-style ribs offer a deeper, smokier richness that really lets the pork shine. Do you want to cook perfect ribs every single time? Then grab my Memphis and Texas smoking times and temperature chart. I've dropped a link in the comments. So what's the best way to smoke pork ribs? It all comes down to what you're in the mood for. If you love bold, spicy flavors and crispy flavorful crust, Memphis style is the way to go. If you're after smoky, tender ribs with a hit of sweetness and tang, then Texas style is the way to go. Both methods deliver amazing ribs, so it's really all about what you're craving at that time. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're curious about how to smoke ribs on a charcoal smoker, click on the video right here to learn more. I'll see you there.